Fieldhouse and Gregory Arena on the campus of North Central College for the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball League Tournament. Tonight's second semifinal match features the Dewhawks of Loras College and the Cardinals of North Central College. Introducing tonight's starting lineups. First for the Dewhawks, number 2, Joe Gendra. Number 3, Blair Anderson. Number 11, Mihailo Lopez. Number 14, Leo Peters. Number 15, Dylan Ross. Number 17, Austin Kudenbecker. Number 25, Alfredo Lopez. The Dewhawks are coached by Jeremy Thornburg. He is assisted by Jenna Ness. And now, the starting lineup for the Cardinals. Number 1, Michael Trenzo. Number 5, Sam Karish. Number 7, Mojidar Kolev. Number 8, Brendan Crawford. Number 13, Jake Braceros. Number 18, Justin Curtis. Number 24, Nick Lilly. North Central is coached by Kyle Exline. He is assisted by Peter Maniscalco, Hannah Cahoon, and Singhai Zingara.
Welcome back to NCTV 17, the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament on hand here at North Central College. The Cardinals, the number 1 seed. We've already witnessed the first matchup of our tournament, Carthage taking down Mount St. Joseph. And now it's the 1 versus 4 seed, North Central versus Loras College. Kevin Jackman, Ali Coletta here on NCTV 17. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Should be a fun matchup this evening with the Dewhawks coming in along with the Cardinals, their first conference tournament appearance. Both of these teams, both the programs are young, and it's exciting just for these players to be making it to the postseason play.
It absolutely is, Kevin, and it's unbelievable that both of these teams, North Central only in their 3rd year, Loras in their 4th, both with coaches that started the programs here at both colleges, and Loras is a very young.
Unplugged, and we're back. Welcome back, everybody. We're just about set to get underway. Nice crowd on hand here inside Murner Fieldhouse for this one, and it should be set up front. Complete transparency. I, Kevin Jackman, am a North Central alum.
And I, Ali Coletta, graduated from Loras College. So we both have our teams here, but there is no bias or anything going on.
Fair representation for both teams. Should be a real fun one. And getting us underway for the Cardinals on the service line will be Justin Curtis. Semifinal action, number 4 versus number 1 seed has begun, and the Loras Dewhawks claim the opening point.
That, Kevin, was our Loras' freshman, Mihailo Gomez, and as I said, he is a freshman. He comes into tonight's game with 125 kills under his belt. Now it's 126.
Also mentioned in the pregame, this is a young team, and sometimes errors like that are going to occur. This is the biggest stage for both of these teams to this point that they have played on, and obviously there might be some jitters, there might be some service errors. Hopefully over the course of the night they will work through those, and we'll see the top flight competition that we've come to expect from both of these programs. That one airmailed into the Cardinal bench, not deflected by the Cardinals, and we're all tied up at 1.
It's definitely interesting with the jitters that they have. You got to get them out early, though. You cannot have the whole whole first set dictated by errors, because then the whole match will be dictated that way.
Michael Trunzo serving for NCC. Out of the back row, Dylan Ross into the stands and out of play, tied up at 2.
Dylan Ross is Loras' top attacker. He comes in as a senior. He doesn't mess around. He's got 213 kills on the season, now 214. And you just saw that power as it went off the North Central's arms.
Serving is Mihailo Gomez. As Trunzo sets it up for Nick Lilly, who hammers home a point.
Now, I believe Nick Lilly for North Central is the top attacker on that side. So we just saw both top attackers do what they do best, and I'm sure they're going to do it all game long. And Lilly found that gap that Loras left, and that cannot happen for the rest of the game.
Lilly, also one of the Cardinals' best servers, leads the team in aces, and instead of that, he buries one into the twine, and we're knotted up at 3 in the opening set.
We'll chalk that up to first set jitters.
Lilly digs it out. Trunzo to Božidar Kolov, and that one's long and out of play. Kolov, late in the season, had an incredible game. 20 kills in a single match, and that was one shy of the program record set by Jake Braceros in year number 2.
You've got to respect the power that he just had on that. You just got to snap the wrist, and that'll be lethal.
Out of play, and service errors continue to plague these two teams.
It's unfortunate. I don't want to see a match dictated by that, because neither one of these teams are dictated by it normally. They're better than that.
Curtis.
We'll just call that an error on Loras' side. I believe that was Dylan Ross. Too much power, kind of swung his arms a little bit, sending the ball back over on North Central's side, and Curtis just slammed it home.
Cardinals with a deep stable of middle blockers, and Curtis gets the call in set number 1. Blocked at the net, Braceros and Curtis, and the point awarded to Loras.
Surprising. You know, he went in, that was Joe Gendro went in for the tip, tricky play, and it ended up resulting in what possibly could be Loras' point. They're discussing it a little bit, but point still stands.
And it will be 5-5. The far side official ruling that the block ended up out of bounds. That one is long. Oh, no, it's not. Right in front of the official on that corner.
That's Gendro back at the line. So after that nice little trick shot he just played, he's stepping back and maybe taking some of that momentum.
Gendro, a freshman from Tinley Park, a southpaw. Lilly digs, Trunzo sets, middle hit, Curtis.
Finding the gaps is what North Central seems to be working with early in this first set, which you've got to just respect, because that is how you will win volleyball games. If you just hit where the defense simply is not, it won't come back over.
Kolov with a bazooka from behind the service line, relatively tame on that one. Digs it out in the back row. Trunzo sets it up for Kolov, and a cue ball sent over the net. Samuel Karish, the libero, there to recover it. Lilly, tap her over into the net. Still available to hit over, and the Loras Dewhawks able to scramble. Braceros then ends the point with a defiant kill.
That was Blair Anderson for the Dewhawks that dug that out of the net and sent it back over so that they could continue the play. Unfortunately, it didn't result on their point, but you've got to respect the game. If they can hustle it out of the net like that, that'll be key.
Kolov remains at the service line. Top of the net goes over. Ross. And Cardinals lost track of it after getting the initial block, and Ross has himself a kill.
Those blocks are definitely tricky. Main part of the game, but if you're not up at the net, sealing that gap that's between you and the net, the ball will drop down there 75% of the time.
Now Ross at the line. And an arcer that doesn't arc in time and falls out of play.
Nice speed behind it, but yet again, it's all about that wrist snapping with attacks and with serves. If you don't snap it correctly, it's going way far out, and these players are way too smart to touch something that they know is going out.
Middle hit blocked by Curtis, but in the court of play, hammer home by Austin Kuchenbecker.
Nice hit. Austin Kuchenbecker comes in with 112 kills on the season, sitting sitting right about middle of the pack for Loras. He seems to just know when to get up and hit. He's not going to take every ball, but he's going to take those and do something with it.
6'5" middle blocker leads the team in blocks. Trunzo back row, Braceros middle of the floor, and Loras sends a free ball over. Kolu hammers that one home.
It's difficult. You watch Loras' defense set themselves up, and they know it's coming, but they are just either 2 feet too far back or 2 feet to the right, and North Central is watching them place that and just switching the wrists a little bit and ending the play.
Curtis back at the line for the second time tonight. Cardinals up 9-8 opening set, and a beautiful play there from the setter, Alfredo Lopez.
It was nice, it was quick. When you see those plays by setters, you've got to respect they understand the game, they know what's going on.
And at the same time, it also forces the defense to kind of hesitate when they go to set up their blocks, because if the setter consistently does just that, might be in trouble. Wicked serve.
Wow.
Trunzo keeps it alive. That goes around the official on the near side and out of play.
That was an unbelievable serve. It was quick by little Alfredo Lopez. He doesn't have much height on him, which you usually see for a volleyball player, but he's got some strength behind him.
5'8" setter, the junior out of Puerto Rico.
Loras' recruiting is different in the fact that they've got a couple people from out of the country, British Columbia, Puerto Rico, stuff like that. So, I mean, hey, if Thornburg knows what he's doing, then you've got to respect the game, pulling people from all over.
Jeremy Thornburg, the head coach, in his 4th season at the helm of the Dewhawks. And anytime you start a program, there's going to be some turbulence early on. And apparently there's a fan who needs to take a seat. He's wearing, it's called an emoji costume.
That can't go over well. We see a lot of people getting riled up right now with the fan situation. May throw the players a little bit out of funk, a little bit out of sync.
How do you concentrate serving towards that end?
Yeah.
Cardinals set it up. Kolov for the back row. Ross tap her over. Trunzo middle hit. Crawford mishits, and it almost works out even better, although Loras there to recover. And that did not hit the floor. That does.
Wow, that was unbelievable defense on both sides of the court. There wasn't traditional volleyball. It definitely wasn't the pass set spike that we normally see. They kind of went over, and then we saw the hammer home on Loras' side, but impeccable defense on both sides of the court in front of that 10-foot line.
Trunzo near the net, and Trunzo must have grazed the twine. Now they're calling it a push?
And over the net. So if he crosses over the net onto Loras' side, then Loras' point.
12-10. Loras with the advantage. Braceros the dig. Trunzo sets it up near side. Lilly. Middle strike coming right down to earth. Leo Peters.
Wow, Leo Peters has definitely got some height on him, so he didn't have to jump much at 6'6", but he got up and right over that for the solo hit.
Cardinals rocking back on their heels a little bit, down 13-10, and that'll take a timeout. We'll step away. We'll be right back in a minute on NCTV 17. number 4 seed Loras has put the top seed Cardinals back on their heels in this opening set. Dewhawks on top 13-10.
Last time these two teams played, North Central won the first set. Loras came back and won the second, pushed them into 4 sets, obviously, and North Central won the second too. So Loras may be taking this with a little bit of a vengeance after losing on their home court on their senior night back in March.
Crawford with the miss hit. Braceros hits the top of the gym. That one's still alive. Far side blocked again. Braceros in the back row with a couple of acrobatic plays. And it's the least amount of power on a shot that ends up scoring the point.
That is unfortunate because as you watch the North Central defense adjust just amazingly to that play, you want them to get the point after all of that. But you can only adjust so much.
That one's out of play. Service error for Loras, finally breaks the snap. Long run gone on by the Dewhawks. They were trailing 10-9, 5 consecutive points. Now Nick Lilly, after a service error, his first time, collects an ace.
The service errors, they've got to stop, but Lilly definitely just took advantage of that, and there was no service error. He knew exactly where Loras wasn't, which we're talking about a lot. They've got to move a lot quicker and be on the balls of their feet.
Knuckleball lined out of play.
I may have jinxed him on that one after I complimented his serving so well.
Oops.
I don't know if he just was really feeling it and swung hard or what.
That's Nick Lilly. He's never going to ease up. It's one thing we've learned over the last few years. Braceros, Trunzo, back row hit, Lilly.
You've got to love when you get the fake attack from that middle who comes up in front of the 10-foot line, fake swings, and somebody comes in from behind. You don't get very many tricky plays in volleyball, but that's one you've got to love.
Especially when you have somebody like Lilly who's accustomed to swinging away like that. Nice save there from Lopez. As Kulov was that in, it was not. Off the sideline as the official had to scramble out of the way.
It almost looked like Blair Anderson's arm was close to touching it. He was standing right on that sideline, but he was smart enough, and that's where you cannot touch those balls that you know are going to be out.
Serving is Gendra. Far side Braceros hovers and knocks it over. Blocked at the net. Gomez unable to get it over. Ross does instead. 17-13. 4 seed currently leading the top seed.
It's definitely interesting with those double blocks. When the ball falls back over, how quick can your defense suddenly become offense again? That'll be a big key component. We're watching Loras adjust. We haven't had to see North Central do it all that often except with that crazy play. They adjust extremely well. But you've got to keep the energy up, especially in set 3 or if we go to set 4, set 5.
Cardinals take another timeout. Coach Kyle Exline has steered this program to its best season in 3 years. An overall record of 17-7, but they're 9-0 in conference play. It's been an interesting season to this point, and he was just recently named to the 30 under 30 list of men's volleyball coaches.
That is unbelievable, and it's a great accomplishment for Exline, especially, I mean, he led the team here first time, and in that same season, 30 under 30 list. So, I mean, as a person, you've just got to be really proud of yourself for that.
And on top of that, he also took over the women's program this year, which doubled up his duties, so he's been a very busy man in the 2017-2018 school year.
Goodness, wow. Now we've got Loras's women's head coach here as well. She's actually the assistant under Thornburg. So we technically have all 4 coaches here, even though North Central, it only consists of 1.
Breaking the timeout, Loras leads 17-13. And at the service line is the freshman Joe Gendra. Southpaw gets this game back underway. Trunzo at the net. Curtis pinballs around on the Loras side.
Nice
double hit.
Double hit on Loras's side during that fight at the net a little bit.
So the Cardinals stem the tide for the moment and send Božidar Kulov to the line. Powerful serve, dug out. Near side Ross, little tapper Karish, perfectly placed. Back row Lilly, a little too high for his outstretched arm. And that one sent long and out of play by Mihailo Gomez.
It's interesting watching these serves go over. It is just a science that they've got going on. So it just goes over the top of the net, so it throws the defense off thinking it won't make it. But on the reverse, you go too high, and the defense is going to stand straight up and not even touch it like we just saw with that last serve.
Cardinals approaching the dangerous area of this first set, in which getting close to the end, you're still trailing by 3. You're going to have to go on a run. Trunzo, middle hit. Curtis finds a weak spot. Says, okay, I'll take that.
It was like a slow-moving ball. Everyone saw where it was headed and then realized that there was no one there to touch it. So that's just shameful to watch happen, but also respectful that you can put so much spin on that ball that it hovers in the air.
18-16, and blocked by the Cardinals, but out of play. Curtis and Trunzo combining on that far side.
It'll be interesting to see when the stats come out at the end of the set how many errors are accumulated through this, because we've talked a lot about service errors and even with those attack errors with too much strength behind them. So you've got to hope that Loras and North Central will shake that going into set 2.
Blocked but out of play, Cardinal point, 19-17 it goes. So out of the 36 points that have occurred, 8 have been service errors, 5 on the Duhawk side, 3 on North Central.
That's a lot of points. In a set that only goes to 25, 8 points, that, especially with things that you know you can fix, with service errors and such. You
at least give yourself a chance.
You serve for like 30% of practice every day. It's like a free throw.
Gendra rises and fires. Gets the Duhawks to 20 points.
As we've talked about, Gendra is just a freshman, but he is somewhat of a legacy at Loras. His sister came and played volleyball at Loras. So there's a question of if he even had a choice or if he just knew once Loras got the men's volleyball program that he was going to come and play here.
Another service error, and the Cardinal bench wound up with that ball and celebrate with it.
The benches are sometimes really fun to watch. They always have personality, and they have to stand, so why not just have fun with it?
Long blast and a nasty collision between Braceros and Karish. Braceros appears to be all right. He checks on Karish and appears to be a little shaken up.
There was definitely a head collision, not only with the floor, but with the body. That was cringeworthy. You've got to hope that he's okay.
Both players remain in the game, and we're quickly resuming. Gomez at the line, and Karish perfectly placed pass. Crawford from the middle position gets it over. Near side, Lilly bounces for the kill.
So not only is he okay, but he is feeling even better about himself and can place that ball exactly where it needs to be. And I don't know if we just saw North Central's celebration, but as we talk about, that personality comes out. When they start getting on that run, they're feeling it. They know they can come back. They're going to get as many people riled up as they can.
Opening set, 21-19. Loras with the advantage, and Lilly with the ace. A lucky roll of the volleyball.
That is such a tricky serve, and as an ex-volleyball player, you hate those serves because if it falls back over, you are just beside yourself. But at the same time, now that it fell on the right side, he's got to be feeling it, and he was, with way too much power on that next one.
Coming down the home stretch in set number 1. And the service error allows Loras to expand the lead back to 2. Middle hit, Crawford back to a 1-point opening set.
That was beautiful volleyball, Kevin. If you just pass, set, right where it was supposed to be. The setter did not have to move his feet at all. Right up the A ball, quick set for the kill.
And Crawford will come out in favor of Jacob Zemba, the southpaw, who came into the program with the idea of setting and was quickly transitioned as an outside hitter because the dude can get up.
got some height too.
Near side, Ross. You know who can get up?
Dylan Ross.
Dylan Ross.
That's shot in the dark. Yeah.
Finger wags, putting his team up 23-21.
He has been with the program since it began 4 years ago. He's watched it grown, and obviously he's grown as well, just getting better with the years of progression as we see that, he's helping carrying his team to this tournament play.
Gendra, the server. Lily, out of play, that one goes. And Loras now with set point.
It is definitely interesting watching the last time these two teams played. Loras lost, and they were at home. And now it almost seems that they are better on the road, which their record shows that while they travel, they're better. So it almost seems that they thrive off of this energy of opponents.
9-1 away from home. Could take a one-set lead. Kolov will stave that off for the moment.
This does not seem like a set one game. This is not a set one game. The energy in this field house right now is unbelievable.
Goes to Loras, 25-22. And right now, the underdog giving the favorite a run for their money. We'll go to a second set. Duhawks up one. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Second set is upon us inside Gregory Arena on the campus of North Central College. Thanks for joining us on NCTV 17 as we present the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament. North Central entering as the number 1 seed, Loras the number 4 seed, barely squeaking in, mind you. They were 5-4 in conference. They edge out Wittenberg at 4-5, along with a couple of other teams. It was the Cardinals going 9-0 over the course of the conference season, and yet, despite all of that, and this is why the games are played and they're not played on paper, Loras has a 1-set lead.
It is definitely surprising, Kevin, as the second set gets underway, that Loras just came out ready to play in that first set. And obviously now we see North Central, and as we talked about a little bit, we didn't see a lot of power from North Central in that first set, so I bet Exeline talked to them about that in their huddle, and they'll have to get underway with some power in the second one.
Nick Lilly getting the Cardinals off on the right foot here in set number 2. Kulev, back row Ross, in.
Now, as we talked about, Ross came into this game leading with kills, but before that kill, it was the freshman Gendra who had the most kills in set 1 with 5, and Ross was right behind him with 4, and now he has 5. So it's interesting to see how everybody plays out, and like you said, not on paper, but in real time.
Serve nicks the top of the net. Braceros rises and gets the kill to deflect off a Duhawk and out of play.
It's the battle of the birds tonight, the Cardinals and the Duhawks. It just dawned on me. And we've got 2 bird mascots in the building.
Braceros collides with another teammate. Second time tonight. Lilly squeaks it past 2 Loras blockers in Peters and Gomez.
The interesting, volleyball's all about communication. I mean, back in 6th, 7th grade, when you decide you want to be a volleyball player, the first thing that you learn is to speak. And it doesn't seem to be that North Central is talking all that much as we watch them collide.
An ace for the Cardinals, and Loras disputing that call. They were watching like hawks, perhaps like Duhawks.
Just like Duhawks. You watch Ross eye down that line, and now it seems that they're thrown off their game a little bit, as they only have 1 point so far in this set too. After that service error that was throwing them off, they thought they were on the line, they weren't, and then they just hit it right into the net.
Jeremy Thornburg telling his team, hey, settle down. It's only 5-1, still early. Gomez airmails one to the opposite side. It might be time for a timeout.
It's interesting. Thornburg is a very stoic coach. You will never see him get very riled up and yell. He's always the person that's just calm, collected. Keep calm. It's only a couple points.
Rainbow serve over. Lopez blocked by the Cardinals. Cardinals there again. Karish with his back turned to the net. Gives it over to Braceros. Near the net, blocked again by NCC, and Lopez can set it to the middle. Kept alive by Karish, but out of play.
Wow. You almost saw that play out with how lofty that ball was up in the air. There was a lot of time for people to kind of figure out what was going on and where they wanted to place their body. And even when that ball got close to the net and you knew the setter was going to tip it over on that second touch, North Central knew it as well. So when you become predictable, that's when the game, I don't want to say gets boring, but it's predictable and everyone understands what's going on.
Gomez dug out by Braceros. Curtis, nice recovery there from Blair Anderson, and perfect setup to Gendra for the kill.
On the outside line, that outside hitting position has got to be the most versatile. Sometimes you'll see him hit with the left if that's what they want to call for, get that crossbody hit. So Gendra seems to understand that, even as a freshman, not playing in the collegiate league very long, he understands how to adapt.
Gomez works from the service line and gets it over. Trunzo near side, Lilly blocked. Pinballs around, and Lilly gets a second shot at it. Lopez digs it out. Anderson to Gendra, and he mishit.
You've really got to just watch North Central's defense. I can't say it enough how much they adapt and how they know everyone is going to be in the place that they need to be. So they may not have the power in that first set, but in the second set they have the power, and their defense is just exactly where they need to be.
Curtis serving. Lopez far side, Ross. Near side, Lilly. Back to Ross. Middle hit Crawford, and these two teams are playing very strong defensively right now. And it's an attack error on Gomez that ends the point.
Lilly is a name that you're saying a lot, and he's only a sophomore. So it's these underclassmen that came in from great high school teams that are definitely helping both of these programs excel.
Curtis hits a home run ball the wrong way. And it's 8-4 Cardinals, Duhawks now with the serve. Suddenly I flipped the score.
It's okay.
Serving is Peters. Trunzo, Zemba. And that's too easy for Crawford in the middle.
You saw that play develop. Everyone saw it. And that gap was in the middle of the floor. Everyone saw it. And even though the set was up near that net, you knew they were going to hammer that home.
Now it's Trunzo's turn from behind the line. Lopez, Gendra, and Karish perfectly placed. Out of system a little bit for the North Central Cardinals. Ross, tap her over, and Zemba gets behind this one. Perfectly sneaks it inside the near sideline. 10-4 Cardinals, and it's timeout time for the Duhawks in set number 2. We'll step aside and we'll be right back following the timeout. You're watching the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament at NCTV 17. Tale of two sets. Loras took the advantage in the opener, and now North Central has a dominant edge here in set number 2, and that one ticketed for out of bounds. Cardinals widening the gap to 7, 11-4.
You watch that play develop on Loras' side, and it was a nice set by number 25 on Loras' side.
Alfredo Lopez. Ooh, that serve way over.
It seems the service errors. That's all and that's where I was going with the point before. That service error went out. It's the errors that are accumulating, and it's unfortunate because both these teams are very talented and have the power, but we're not seeing it.
Popped up by Lilly. Trunzo saves, and Lilly sends the free ball over. Lopez, Ross. Stopped by Braceros. Karish keeps it alive. And Lopez sends it way long.
Let's keep a count on how many times North Central is diving in, saving, and making a great play out of their defensive moves. We just watched two different people make great saves on North Central's side, one into the bench and one on the other side of the court.
Service error on Nick Lilly. Yeah, Sam Karish, I think his major here at North Central is diving digs.
That has got to hurt, but at the same time, if that's what you are going to put your hat on, that's what you're going to put your hat on.
No knee pads either for a lot of these players, as Ross also finds the twine. 13-6. So now Brendan Crawford will try and get this one over.
The service errors, I mean, we cannot talk about it enough because that's all that is happening here.
Lopez, far side. Gomez blocked by North Central, but out of play. And it's a Duhawk point.
The ball fell between the blockers and the net. Touched bodies obviously before it fell out of, even though it fell out of play, out of lines. It'll still be the Duhawk point. But those are not the points you want. You want the powerhouse kills. And I don't think we've seen very many of them in set 2.
Braceros digs and kills.
There is a power play. That is what men's volleyball is all about. With women's volleyball, it's a little more tricky. They're a lot quicker and agile, and they can tip those balls and all of that. But with men, you usually just see them wind up and pound one home.
Get on top of the ball. And as Kyle Exline, his motto that first year was swing high, hard, and deep.
Definitely learned from it and is progressing, clearly.
14-8, North Central with the lead in set 2. Loras took that first one. This is our second game of the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament. Carthage took the first over Mount St. Joseph in straight sets. We will not see the top seed win in straight sets as North Central grabs another point, with the 4 seed surprising with that first set win.
I was watching North Central's offense on that, wasn't really paying attention to Loras' defense, but when you have a solo blocker go up at the net that you usually do when you have a middle hitter like that, it's difficult. But when then the middle hitter will tip it over that solo block, there's usually no one behind him, and it just falls, as we saw.
Lopez to Gendra. Karish was there, and that's a carry on North Central.
A double hit on North Central's side. When you see those errors happen, it's got to be difficult as a official to call those because they're difficult and you stop play and the players sometimes don't even understand that they did it. So it's difficult, and then the ball obviously goes to the other side.
That was on Ray Kraus, who in recent years had been the setter, as Lily collects another kill. Kraus is much taller than Trunzo by about 4 inches, but Trunzo this year has really stepped up his game. He's become the starter and has run away with the job, in large part because of his accuracy.
We just saw Lily get his 6th kill on the night, and he is tied with Gendra, so it seems to be the underclassmen who are just really holding this attacking percentage up for both teams.
Trunzo with the sneaky move. 17-9, home team with the advantage here in set 2.
You would definitely not think that Loras won the first set by the way that the second set is playing out. They may just have gotten that win and it went to their head.
Whoa!
But North Central's defense showed up in set 2. They are on the court and they are making noise along with all the fans in the stands making noise as well, but that was just unbelievable.
By far the best volleyball atmosphere North Central has ever seen, ever.
It very well could be Loras's highest as well. And it's interesting because I'm watching all these players on the sidelines and on the court, and they have smiles on their faces because it sounds super cliche and corny, but at the end of the day, they've just got to be happy to have finally made the tournament with such new programs.
Far side, Ross tipped up. Zeba mistimed his jump, and Curtis will get it over. A lot of miscommunication there. Gendra, top of the net, still alive. Both teams have been a little discombobulated, and it ends with Lily serving up a miss hit.
There was no communication on either side of the court on that one. I watched numerous players realize that nobody else was going for the ball and look around as if, oh man, is this on me now? Communication will win this game if teams decide to talk.
Peters scrapes the top of the net, and Cardinals get the point. I'm not sure how that worked out.
The trick shot, I believe, by Loras went out.
I I thought it fell on top of a North Central player.
That's what I thought as well, but obviously the officials have a better view than we do, and
Well, we're blocked partially by the near side official. As Trunzo serves, Cardinals have doubled up the Dewhawks here in the second set. Ross off the shoulder of Trunzo, and Lilly doing a nice job trying to keep it alive, but that was a little too fierce coming off the hand of Ross.
That had a lot of power. I believe it hit Trunzo on the upper shoulder. And I think people sometimes forget, you can play the volleyball, you can kick it if that's all you can get to the ball. Granted, there's no control over it, but if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do.
Out of sync. And Braceros backhands it, but it's into the stands, and Kolov nearly climbs up and over the railing.
The effort on North Central's side is unbelievable, and I don't know if X-Line tells them you go for every ball as hard as you possibly can. I don't care if you're leaping over stands and people, but they are taking that to heart.
Service there at a very inconvenient time for the Loras Dewhawks. Now, I agree, and I think you'd almost, if he would have made it over, you could have called that parkour.
Absolutely. You could have. You can go from point A to point B by climbing on objects. That is parkour, and he definitely would have achieved that.
Straight out the elevator shaft. Kolov. No chance for Blair Anderson. Kolov picks up the kill to make it 22-12.
That was a beautiful outside set with the timing, and Kolov at the 10-foot line knew it was for him, and it just went down.
Lilly was 7, Kolov now up to 4, and Lilly severely mistimed that. We saw, and keep in mind, Lilly is arguably the team's best server in terms of aces. He ticketed one so far out of bounds, it almost made its way into the training room, out of the actual gymnasium. But he swings so hard off that serve.
The trick play that Lopez just tried to handle just literally flipped the script on him, and it came right back over. Nobody saw that coming. North Central's defense will, knock on wood, win them this second set.
Kevin Messer into the game to serve. He was a libero the last 2 years and has moved to outside hitter, and here featured as a server. Nice dig out by Trunzo near the net, and not enough. Point for Loras.
I don't know if the viewers at home could see what we saw, but there were 3 players in the vicinity of that ball, and not one of them opened their mouth or moved towards it because they all thought the other one was going to get it. If they spoke, they would have gotten that ball, and could guess they get the point.
Could be the environment so loud in here, it's maybe disconcerting.
That is definitely a possibility of it as well. And they may never have to be in the situation where they're all in the same place at the same time that they need to talk. But in that situation, go back to the basics.
Free ball over. Curtis nearly ends it. Blocked. Loose. Blocked again. Trunzo, Braceros, and second set over. The senior ends it, and we're tied at a set apiece. We'll go to a third. Cardinals win this one 25-14. Onward we go in the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament presented on NCTV 17. new ball game after a couple of sets. Here in the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament, game number 2. Top seed North Central, number 4 seed Loras, and the Dewhawks came out firing in that first set. They put the Cardinals back on their heels and came off with the upset. And now in set 2, Cardinals with a dominant performance en route to a 25-14 win. So to a third we go, and this match is absolutely up in the air. And so is that ball, and unable to be saved by Lopez.
You watched all the SIDs and scores at the judges' table duck as that ball came at him. Not a good way to start off that third set. Not ideal, but anything can happen, as you just said. And with one apiece, it's anybody's match.
Cardinals keeping that alive, and the Dewhawks looking for a carry. That looked like it nestled into the arms of Braceros. Doesn't matter much with that ball winding up 8 rows up into the stands.
There's a saying in sports that the ball never lies, and when tricky shots are called and one team believes that it was a miscall, whatever happens next is what should have happened. Ball never lies.
Lopez readies himself, and the southpaw lasers one up and out of play.
For a 5'8" volleyball player, he has got height and speed on him.
He's got a cannon.
Yeah.
Braceros gets it in. 2-1. North Central leads in the third set. Blocked, but straight down on the Cardinals' side, and we're all tied up at 2.
That was a nice block by North Central. The way they went up and everything was executed, just a little too much gap between the net and the blockers.
Top of the net and falls over for Gomez.
I hope everyone just saw Gomez's dance move that he just did after getting that ace. And now we see the bench get into it a little bit, which is always fun because when that happens, it's rare, but it's fun.
Trunzo to Lilly, and Lilly gets dug out by Lopez. Anderson sets up Gomez in the back row, and the Cardinals now have a crack at it. Braceros blocked. Tipped apparently by the Dewhawks. Ball don't lie.
That was it was a double block, but mostly it was done by number 14 on Loras' side.
Leo Peters.
He's got the height, so his hands got on it more than his other blocker did.
Pinballs around, and Lilly punches it over and sends it a tad too far.
A little bit of an error on North Central side, a little bit of communication difficulty, but they came out in that second set so hot that I have a feeling that they're going to ignite again in this third set.
Gomez continues to serve. Kolov heat seeks the corner.
That serve by Gomez, unbelievable. I could watch him serve all day, but North Central watched where he came after he served and went right over his left shoulder.
Curtis lollipops one in. Lopez middle hit, and Braceros try to come streaking in, recognizing the play, and couldn't get there in time.
I don't really think that attack had much power on it. I never heard the ball really hit the ground or hit the palm of the Dewhawk that hit it, but it still just seemed to find the gap.
Trunzo gets sent near side, and back row hit comes from Kolov and cannot square it up. 7-3, and it might be time for the Cardinals to try and hit the reset button down 7-3.
I love listening to when a player hits the ball. Depending on where they hit it with their hand, you can hear either that hollow pop noise or you hear the attack noise that we've listened to so well.
Service error, but by a mere inch or so.
Volleyball's such an interesting sport because you can watch the players talk to the officials. And sometimes it's in a joking matter of, hey, was that really out type of thing. And it's not so much that they're arguing, but just having a conversation.
Gendra blocked at the net. Crawford and Lilly combine to pull to within 2.
North Central Central's fans and bench getting into it a little bit, which you've just got to enjoy as they claw their way back a little bit here in this third set.
Trunzo at the service line. Lopez near side Ross, and Ross too powerful.
He is now tied for kills with Gendra on the Loras side. Now for North Central, their kills, Trunzo has 8, which is above Loras. Lily has 8, my mistake. Reading the wrong name, too quick.
And more likely than not, Trunzo's been the one to set him up 8 of those times.
Yeah, I'm listening to you say the names a lot and getting flip-flopped a little bit.
And it's now Lily at the service line with the Cardinals down by 2. This time he doesn't spike the ball straight down. Ross again finds the weak spot.
A little bit of a deja vu. Same sort of play. He was in the same position as he walks back to the service line now. But when you find that weak spot on the floor, if the other team isn't going to adjust, you're just going to keep pounding them home.
Middle hit, Crawford too quick. There's no way you can set up a block to guard against that.
No, that quick set, and Crawford knew exactly what was happening, where it was going, found the gap on the middle of the floor for the Dewhawks.
Now Crawford serves.
Ooh, right over the net and is way out of bounds.
Free ball will be sent over, and the Cardinals are hoping for a carry. Instead, it's an emphatic kill by Austin Kuchenbecher.
Wow, he got up. I almost want to say that his hips were level with the top of the net by how high he seemed to get on that.
And he's getting a warm reception from the bench as he heads that way. And now Loras with a 3-point advantage here in a crucial swing set, set number 3. In a lot of ways, this could determine the rest of the match. The team that takes a 2-1 advantage has a higher probability of taking the match overall. And the Cardinals, from the opening get-go of this third set, have been behind the 8 ball.
It's hard to shake. Once you know you've lost 2, it's hard to shake and somehow come back and win 3 after you're already down.
Tipped by the Cardinals and out of play. Loras now up 3.
Those tips, I didn't even see it happen. And most of the time when a tip happens, you can see it deflect. Or
and you can even hear it too.
Yeah, it goes usually to a side, not so much straight back.
Lopez, a sidewinding serve. Curtis, take 2.
That would be a play of the week type of play that we just saw happen. Granted, a lot of what North Central has done tonight is play of the week worthy, but that nice little, he came down and right back up like he was on a springboard.
Far side, Gomez blocked, perfectly queued up by Lily.
I think I've decided that North Central, when a play goes right, when it goes the way that it's supposed to happen, their defense does the blocks, their attackers hammers one home, they do the jumping circle thing. So if anything else, just watch the bench and you know what happens.
Usually reserve that celebration for the aces and the blocks. Wow! Oh.
I thought they were going to get that. I mean, if you look at past plays, when things like that have happened, North Central gets the ball back over. So.
Not that time. Braceros, though, has been given it 150% tonight. He has been all over the floor. So has Samuel Karish.
Well, at this point, I mean, leave it all out on the table. You have got nothing to lose.
Lines it off the pole on the far side and out of play.
I definitely thought that that one was going to come over and then fall back on Loras' side, which they were not ready for if that did happen.
Lopez, Trunzo, Zemba, and that one gets lined straight to the bench.
We just watched that ball get launched at Danny Krasic, who's now a manager for Loras. Used to be on the team, but you watched Jenna Ness and Krasic cringe a little bit.
Timeout taken. Cardinals need to mull it over. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. midway through set number 3, and Loras with a 4-point lead over the North Central Cardinals, who have yet to be beaten in conference play. And breaking the timeout taken by Coach Kyle Lexline, the Cardinals break the momentum of the Dewhawks. Cardinals' run this season has been fairly magical at times, including an upset win over Carthage midway through the season. And that ended up being the only loss suffered by the Redmen to this point. They're 23-1. Peters set it up to himself and now rejected. And that one out of play. Loras thought that ball was tipped. Not called, and it's 14-12.
When you're on the floor, the view is definitely different, and that's why they put the official up so high so you can see the entire floor. But you watch Loras celebrate after they thought they earned that hard-earned point, and it ended up going to the Cardinals.
14-12 now. Cardinals have halved that lead out of the timeout. Ross rises and beautifully tapped over, and around the pole, out of play it went. Cardinal point.
I did not see that. I thought it just landed out on the ground, and it was clearly out either way, but I didn't see that it was outside the pole.
Esslinger serves to try and tie. Near the net. And Cardinals get the point with Lilly claiming the battle. 14-14 here in set 3.
That was quick. That was 3 points very quickly. Volleyball is not being played at this moment. There's just a lot of mistakes happening and a lot of outs.
Barely out of play. The lefty pulled it. And Loras recaptures the lead at 15-14.
This close game in set 3, it doesn't bode well for the rest of the match if these teams are just fighting so hard, and obviously they've got nothing to lose on either side of the court, and they're showing that.
Crawford skies, gets on top of it, and knocks the game back up at 15. That's true. I mean, both teams are in their first postseason appearance. There's no expectations other than to get to this point. Now they're here. You can only go up from there.
Exactly. And I mean, 3 years, 4 years on the program, and they've worked hard enough. Now it's time to shine.
Lopez scrambles to get there. Ross sends a tumbler over. And Crawford off the feed. Blocked by Lilly. Pinballs around. Loras with a stunning point.
I definitely thought that ball hit the ground on Loras' side, but he pancaked that up, and everybody was just there ready and waiting for it. So now Loras has to take this momentum and propel themselves through the rest of this set, because as we've seen, the errors that they're making cannot continue to happen.
16-15. Back row hit Braceros, and he came inside that 10-foot line.
And you watch Dylan Ross see that happen even before the ball came over the net. So it's interesting how well a player knows what's going on and where everybody is in line.
17-15, Loras with a 2-point lead as we make our way near the finish line of set 3.
Oh dear.
And a carry called on Michael Trunzo.
So we watched Loras make 3 errors that put North Central back in it, and now we're watching North Central make errors. And as a volleyball game, errors, you've got to shake them off, or you're going to carry them through the rest of the match.
And that's exactly what this timeout aims to do. Coach Kyle Lexline will gather his team, and we'll gather ourselves and step aside. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Loras with 3 straight points, prompting Coach Kyle Exline to call a timeout. And Trunzo will set up Lily. Blocked by Ross.
Wow, Ross he is fired up and ready to go. And Loras travels, and there's a lot of people from the Chicagoland area that attends Loras, and we can see it in the fans tonight. North Central as well. I mean, being the host, they have shown up too.
Sends it long and out of play. Snaps the streak of 4 consecutive points claimed by the Dewhawks.
Now we'll just have to see if North Central can take that air and run with it, which we've seen them do.
Lily plays it safe and gets it over on the serve. Gomez has it punched right back at him by Karish. Perfectly placed by Kuchenbecker.
There was no sound on that one. There wasn't a lot of power behind it. I almost would call it a tip, but it wasn't exactly a tip because it had a little bit more speed on it. But Loras now with the momentum on their side again, as they are 5 points away from taking set 3.
20-16, Ross with the serve. Far side, Braceros gets way up there.
That was beautiful. And he was so close to the net for that set that I almost thought he was going to dump it over and throw him for the trick. But he knows what he's doing. He's not going to do that if he knows his hitter's right there.
Casey Hiller, a Naperville North product, checks into the game for the first time to serve. Back row hit, tapped over. Trunzo, right back to Lily. Braceros, Trunzo, Braceros, long. Was it tipped? Apparently it was not.
The speed a little bit on that one was not questionable, but it seemed like it did get tipped. But apparently it did not, as Ross wipes the floor a little bit with some sweat, you've got to presume, off the floor a little bit, stopping play before the serving continues for Loras.
Patrick Hollander behind the service line. Readies himself and sends it long. 21-18 now as we come down the final few points of this third set. Cardinals set their stage, and they have Lily coming up into that front row in just a moment.
I watched a North Central player just calm his team a little bit, stay calm. They're not down that much. I have seen comebacks on volleyball games by way higher or lower points than these.
Zemba has it ricochet off his shoulder, and Loras draws the magic number down to 3 here in set number 3. 22-18, and that one might have wound up out of play, but Braceros saves it. And that sets up Gendra. Tipped at the net and out of play. Another point for the Dewhawks. And it's now the Cardinals might be looking forward to a 4th set.
Yeah, and that was an unconventional play. That was Anderson, Blair Anderson, who set the ball up. That's a libero. He's usually defense, but he obviously is jack of all trades.
Sent into the net by Lopez.
Tough set. It's anybody's set still.
At this point, you imagine nerves are getting to be a part of it as Braceros gets it over. Gomez, locked at the net, gets a second crack at it, and this time sends it long and out of play. 23-20, Cardinals with a little 2-0 streak.
I think Gendra thought that he was going to be hitting into a block there, and that's why he put so much power behind it. But you always won't be hitting into a block, and that's a defensive strategy of he's going to think we're there, let's not, and see what happens.
Braceros nearly skims the net. Out of the back row, Ross, and gets it, tucks it inside the sideline. So now, Loras a point away from claiming a 2-1 lead against the number 1 seed in the tournament.
Ross is definitely feeling the momentum, and he's leading this team, and as a senior, that's something you've just got to respect and admire.
Gomez to serve. And he'll have to wait another moment to try and clinch this third set.
Stepping back back as a Cardinal to the service line, you've definitely just got to breathe through this, not let anybody get into your head, especially the Loras fans who are hoping you get a service error and give them this set 3.
Jacob Esslinger, the server, make that Jason Esslinger. Sends it long, and we go to a fourth with the 4th-seeded Dewhawks on top of the Cardinals. The 9-0 conference record in jeopardy tonight. We'll be back on NCTV 17. More 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament action is on its way from Murner Fieldhouse. Loras barely made it into the conference tournament. Their 5-4 record qualified them over Fontbonne, Wittenberg, and Augustana. In fact, the Dewhawks lost to Augustana, but fortunately for them, the Vikings lost one more game in 2018 than they did. So the Dewhawks find themselves here against the top-ranked Cardinals, who are 9-0 in conference play. Does that deter them? No. They're up 2-1. We've hit the 4th set, and we think that you were along for the ride tonight with us here on NCTV 17. Kevin Jackman, Ali Coletta, as the Cardinals take the opening point of this 4th set on a Jacob Zemba kill.
Last time these two teams faced off, North Central walked away victorious. It was on Lila's court, which is at Loras. It was Loras' senior night, and North Central won 3-1. Now, we obviously aren't playing on paper, but walking into this match with all those stats that you just threw out, North Central should be walking away victorious. But as we saw in March, Cinderella stories happen all the time.
Could be one tonight. Loras is 13-10 overall. They're 5-4 in conference. The Cardinals 17-7, 9-0 in MCVL play. Karras digs, Crawford hits, and clutch the kill.
Blair Anderson watched that one fall about 3 feet in front of him. It looked like he thought that it was going to get blocked and fall back on North Central side, which is why he didn't move his feet towards it. But at that point, this potentially could be one of your last sets. Move towards the ball.
Near the net, and Lilly slam dunks it home.
Anderson again, he put his arms out to the side. He was near that back line. Very well could have gone out. Granted, I have a different view.
I was going to say the same thing.
Than he does, but it definitely looked like he should have second-guessed that.
Lopez to the near side. Gendra blocked by the Cardinals and Lilly. And Lilly will be called over to the head official. I believe Trunzo will be called upon to relay a message to Nick Lilly to tone it down a little bit.
As a player on the court, you're riled up. You are now just won 3 straight points. You've got to be feeling it, but at the same time, let's be respectful.
Earlier in the game, in that opening set, is Ross skies and gets a kill for the Dewhawks. I believe Lilly and Gendra collided underneath the nets on a point in which the Dewhawks lost. And there were words exchanged that seemed kind of benign at the point, and now that might be bubbling over after Lilly blocked Gendra for the point. Sent towards the scorer's table, Lilly gets a crack at it after the nice job from the setter Trunzo. Gomez to the front row, Gendra. Long saved by Braceros. Now Kolov will tap it over, deflected by Gendra and out of play.
It's definitely interesting. With other sports, football and basketball, you're playing one-on-one and you're next to your opponent. There's always a net separating them, so the official is going to watch you exchange words through the net if something is to happen. And they'll tell you to stop.
Ross gets it right back. He does not hold back. He just wails on the volleyball, doesn't he?
Yeah, it helps that he's so tall that no matter what, if he just swings down, that ball is coming down hard.
Listed as 6'2", but certainly plays higher above the net than that.
Yeah, he looks a lot taller than 6'2", I'm gonna be honest.
So does Braceros. Collects the kill, and officially on the roster, Braceros is only 6'1". I would say that might be a little embellished.
You say only 6'1", as in that's something to scoff at. 6'1" is tall.
Hey, I would take 6'1". Cardinals get the point on the ace, 7-3. Me and my 5'7" and 3/4 frame, and you're going to give me the 7 3/4.
Volleyball's not your sport, but for these 6'1" players, it obviously is.
7-4 after the service here from Crawford. And now Ross will serve, swaps out volleyballs. Trunzo near side, Braceros miss hit and actually worked out.
He had some airtime on that one. It was a floater. He was way behind the 10-foot line when he started his jump, and he ended pretty near close that net.
He tends to hover. He's one of those guys that when they take off, they just seem to be suspended in midair.
Where can I get that skill?
Beats me. It's been eluding me for 25 years. Karras near the stands and pounds it back towards the court. Kolov near the net now. Lopez far side, Gomez, and around the pole it went.
That's unfortunate because that definitely would have been Loras' advantage right there. They had time, they could have set that ball up. It was a free ball over from North Central, and they were so close up to the net that I'm surprised they didn't just slam it home from the get-go, but they decided to set up their play and hit outside that pole.
9-4 after the miss hit from Gomez. Kolov to serve. Bazooka. And near the rafters. Karish, Trunzo, Kolov blocked. Blocked by Kuchenbecker.
Nice little roof there. I love when the fans get into it and, get the roof saying, because technically what it was, or some siding, if you will, when you're building a house.
Coach Kyle Exline directing the troops on the floor. Up 9-5. The Cardinals trying to force a fifth set. Game 2 of this conference tournament. Game 1 going to Carthage, and right now Loras in the driver's seat. Up 2-1. Locked. Zemba unable to get there. 9-6.
A little bit of a deja vu there when you saw went up, got that block going, and that is the kind of block when you can get your hands angled just right so that it falls onto the other side, not back into that gap.
Hollander the server. Braceros the killer.
You saw Lopez, who could be the shortest one on the court, at least on the Jewhawk side, try to get up for that block, and he's got hops, but I don't think that was going to stop it.
And now the senior Braceros nestles in behind the service line and pops one over. Far side Gomez. Trunzo had to come a long way, and now Lilly gets it across.
Ooh.
Lopez sneaks it over.
There are some hops on that one. You definitely saw that happen a little bit. He got up and with that left arm go over his body, over the net, over the North Central defenders for the point.
Moisture wicked away on the floor. Cardinals still lead 10-7. Fourth set, they trail 2-1. Lopez buries it into the net.
The toss on his serves, and now everybody's got their own serving style, and obviously you've got to time it up if you're going to do that jump serve, which is extremely difficult to execute with that timing. But it is just so high up in the air compared to some of these other serves.
Lopez, far side, Gendra perfectly placed.
Nice trick shot by Gendra. Sometimes you see him hammer it home, and sometimes you see he plays smart with his brain.
Zemba was camped out in that back row and couldn't get it up.
You've got to be on the toes. You're never going to get anywhere if you're going to lean back on the ball, so you're on the heels.
Gomez serving. Braceros, Trunzo, middle hit, Crawford. Rejected, but must have fallen on the Loras side. That was blocked by the official. Couldn't see where that ball ultimately ended up.
That was nice play by North Central there. It definitely, he noticed how far back that blocker was and used it to his advantage.
Trunzo, the server, miss hit on the serve receive from Ross, but able to get it over nonetheless. And Karish, Braceros whiffed. Karish there, now Ross with a chance, and Karish there again. Kolov with a chance to end it. Now up 13-8.
I love when rallies can be tamed like that. When it gets so crazy, but then they settle back into their spots. They know what's going on. They know where they need to be in order to execute the plan the way it's supposed to go down.
Lopez, middle hit, popped up, saved. Kolov, tap her over. Cardinals get a reset. Maybe. Nope. But no. Hitting the net is Peters. 14-8. And a timeout taken by Loras. Bad miscue there, and it costs them. Will we be ticketed for a fifth set? We might be. 14-8 the score. We'll be back after the timeout on NCTV 17. Cardinals up by 6 midway through this 4th set. And Gendra blocked by Lily.
Lily had great timing. Gendra did not have great timing. It could have been a battle at the net, but unfortunately Gendra just seemed to misstep and Lily took advantage.
Now Trunzo serves.
Woo.
Gomez knocks it across. Karish, Trunzo, Lily. Did not hit Gomez apparently. Oh, it did.
It did. It was
wow.
like Matrix style with that. But unfortunately, he was not quick enough.
And Ross once again requests the towel, which at some points I almost wonder if it's a stall tactic. In a sense, it's a timeout trying to freeze the opposing team's server.
Definitely, but at the same time, gonna stick up for Ross just a little bit because we just saw Gomez. He was on the floor.
He was.
And at a certain point, your back's got to be a little wet.
A little damp?
Yeah. So we've got to take everyone's safety into consideration.
When the floor gets moist, it gets a little dangerous. And then certainly with these guys leaping and taking off, we saw an injury in the women's season where somebody came down and it slipped and there goes a knee. But not in this situation. Loras battling back. It's now 16-9. What astounds me is how Loras looked so good in the 1st and 3rd sets, and then they lost that 2nd set 25-14, and almost a similar story here in the 4th.
It's like they think they've won. You know, like when they walk away from that 3rd set and they win, it's like, okay, cool, we've won. And then it's like, well, wait a second, you've got another one.
Crawford rejected, and it's in. Loras now trails by 6. Yeah, it's like that switch gets turned off.
Yeah, exactly. And with volleyball, you can't do that because it's not just one game you're playing. It's not basketball or baseball. Well, baseball sometimes is played 2 double headers, but basketball at least. You don't walk away when that buzzer sounds. You've got another game to play.
Into the net it goes for Peters, 17-10 North Central. So it should be noted that Loras' 4 conference losses have come to the 3 teams in the conference tournament, Carthage, North Central, and Mount St. Joseph, along with Augustana. And one of those went to 5 sets, and that was their loss against Carthage.
They are one of 2 teams to push Carthage to 5 sets, which is interesting because North Central beat Carthage pretty handedly, and then we watched Loras challenge Carthage. So when you look on paper, volleyball, it's different than the way it plays out, obviously.
5th set games for Loras. Their record is 2-4. For North Central, as Crawford skies for the kill. North Central, a little bit of a different story. They are untested, only 1-0.
That doesn't bode well for the Jewhawks, but if you make it to a 5th set, you know you've competed your hardest.
Crawford skims the net, middle hit, missed time, and the Cardinals take advantage. Far side, Kolov. That's way long and out of play.
Ouch. Some power behind it. I have to give it to volleyball players who don't feel the energy. Because as hyped up and as excited as you are, as North Central is up by 6 points right now, you can't show that when you're touching the ball.
Kolov remains pretty stoic throughout. One of the more calm players is Curtis. Gets it by Gendra.
I guess that's why I don't play volleyball. I am not a stoic person. I know that as a human. So I respect any person that is stoic and can remain calm in situations like this.
I've never been that way either. Look at as Kolov stares it down, no emotion on the face, and he hammers one in, and miscommunication, Gendra colliding with his teammate and Kuchenbecker, and now it's 20-12, and a 5th set is nearing the point where it's a given. And
a little bit.
No timeout taken by Loras. Both officials thought they were seeing that signal come from Jeffrey Thornburg. Jeremy, excuse me.
Oh, this may be where he calls it.
21-12 now, but is it really worth it? Is it a salvageable set?
At the same time, you throw North Central off their serving game a little bit, but other than that, I hate to say it, but the Duhawks, I think, are going to a fifth set.
We'll find out. 21-12 in the fourth. North Central leads, but they trail 2-1. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Kolov with the serve. And wow, saved by Lopez. What a scramble. Lily gets it in, nicks the back line, and it's good.
As I talk about how I'm not a stoic person as Loras brings out the towel yet again, you can hear when I get nervous about players. I know. It is a bad trait, but it's the gut reaction. As every fan knows, when you get really excited about any team doing anything exciting.
Some of the greatest color analysts are the same way, and of course, naturally, as a Cubs fan, I think of Ron Santo. It's more fun experiencing a game like a fan. Ooh, Kolov almost bent that back towards the court, but it goes long, and the Cardinals lead cut to 9. 22-13 here in the fourth. I think we're ticketed to a fifth set, barring a miraculous run by the Loras Duhawks.
That very well could go down in Ripley's Believe It or Not of some sort, maybe some world records if they came back to win this game. It is highly unlikely, so everyone buckle in for what is guaranteed to be an exciting fifth set.
Hollander serves. Trunzo catching Loras sleeping on the defensive side.
Sleeping or on their heels, either one, but if your weight is on the back 50% of your body, as in on your heels, you can't rock yourself forward and move your feet quick enough to get to the ball. So stay on your toes as much as possible. A lot of times you'll see the players touch the ground in order to keep their weight in front of them.
Ooh. Emphatic kill from Peters.
You even heard him say it out loud. He was not messing around with what he was doing. He said A-ball, that is what he got, and North Central couldn't do anything about that.
So well set, too.
Yeah. Lopez is good.
Karish off the net and out of play.
It almost seems that Loras is just trying to stop the bleeding at this point. Just make it, they were sitting at 13, and now 25-15 isn't bad as 25-13 or 25-12.
Saved by Lily. Now over to Zemba. Tipped at the net. Gomez with the kill, and it's 23-16, and Coach Kyle Exline will take a timeout. He's not going to let this one get away. He'll talk it over with his squad, and we'll step aside. We'll be right back with the finish of this fourth set on NCTV 17.
serve.
Loras with an opportunity to continue this run. Gomez rejected at the net. Gendra long and out of play. Cardinals with the wise decision to duck. And now the Cardinal fans will rise to their feet with an opportunity to go to 5 coming up on deck. (24-16), Jason Esslinger to serve. Esslinger thought he just ended it with an ace. Instead, it is just barely off the sideline.
What a way to end it, to push it to a 5th set on an ace. Whew, that would have been nice.
That's how the second set ended, with Lily's ace.
Yeah.
So now it's up to Gomez to keep this set alive, down 24-17. Parrish with the diving save. Braceros to Crawford. Far side, Ross tips and in. We go to another point.
Pushing along. And usually once it hits 24, you think, okay, this, on to the next one. But Loras does not think that, apparently, and they are fighting tooth and nail.
Gomez again with the serve. This time it's Braceros out of the back row. To 5 sets we go. 25-18, the score in the 4th. Teams will talk it over as we will go to a 15-point 5th set here inside Murner Fieldhouse to determine who goes to the championship game in the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball League Tournament. Join us on the other side of the break. We'll be right back on NCTV 17 and on nctv17.com. standing, and the set hasn't even begun here inside Murner Fieldhouse. Welcome back, everybody, on NCTV 17. Kevin Jackman, Ali Coletta. North Central, the host site of the 2018 Midwest Collegiate Volleyball Tournament. And boys, it's been a good one. Carthage took it in 3 sets over Mount St. Joseph, and this one has a little bit more intrigue to it. Loras taking sets 1 and 3, North Central sets 2 and 4, which means it is anybody's ball game.
It's technically, the score is back at 0 at this point. You wash it clean, you shake every mistake that you've had off, and you walk into this knowing that this very well could be the end of your season, or you go on to the next hit.
Loras points.
That was just a beautiful block that just deflected onto the other side.
Gendra will serve. It's a race to 15 here in set number 5. Kolov near the net. Saved by Trunzo. Karish to the back row, Lilly. Far side, Ross. Around the pole it went and out of play.
I don't know if he lost track of where he was at on the floor, because he went up and was hitting straight ahead like the pole wasn't even there. So I don't know if he just didn't see it, maybe looking elsewhere.
Close, but no cigar. Now Kolov serves, tied at 1. Far side, Ross gets a do-over, and Karish cannot keep that alive.
Figured out where he was on that one. He knew what was going on. And he even hit it right at the libero, which for anyone who isn't volleyball tech savvy, that's the defensive specialist who can move around on the court and get to that ball so that when people swing with aggression like that, they're going to be there.
Ross now serving, but the net has a malfunction in it. The pole on that far side appears to have jostled loose. As they try to fix it, secure it, and get this game back underway.
You're watching all the players kind of pace a little bit. You can't stop your momentum, especially with set 5. You've got to keep moving.
So now Ross will serve. Blasts it in.
Ooh.
Curtis kept it alive, and Loras able to keep this point going.
I'm
Lopez
not sure how.
To Ross, and an infraction on Loras.
I thought that rally was going to end about 5 touches ago. Loras was there, but they weren't making the good saves. They were making the saves that they had to make.
Now Braceros with the game tied at 2. Lopez back to Gendra. Too much pace on it, and the Cardinals with their first lead of this 5th set.
They're getting really excited, and how can you not? I mean, once you get momentum on your side, you've got momentum. Keep moving, keep chugging, hopefully just extend that lead.
Lopez having to race a long way. Gomez keeps it in. And Zemba. Ooh, blocked at the net. Lopez tried to sneak it over. Far side, Gomez. Karish right there. Lilly acting as the server, makes setter over to Trunzo, and Trunzo blocked, and that's what happens when you reverse rolls.
That was quick. And what's difficult is watching some of those quick touches happen. You only get 3 on a side. So if you're going to put up that hand as a reflex, that counts as a touch, as we watched Gomez do.
Into the net it goes. And a miscue made by Hollander.
That now, Reed talks about service errors all night long, but this is the absolute last place you should be making those.
Keep in mind, and I cannot stress this enough, it is not to 25, it is to 15. So it almost makes these points even more magnified.
Absolutely. 10 less points. 10 less points is unbelievable.
Esslinger serves it in. And out of bounds it went. 5-3 North Central lead.
That's just a rough one that just happened there. He tried, Lopez got up, but just, he's all over the court though. You've got to give him points.
Esslinger. Gomez, Lopez, Gomez, kill.
Ouch. That was just a rough one there on North Central's side. He went to get there, just couldn't necessarily get his whole body there and ended up on the ground instead.
Parrish back into the game as the libero. 5-4 in the 5th set, tied at 2. Lopez smokes one in. Crawford gives North Central a 2-point lead.
Right up at the top, nice middle hitter that just came straight down. And now suddenly they are 9 points away from moving on to tomorrow's conference game.
Kola back into the game, and Trunzo will be paused as Braceros was trying to tie his shoes.
Safety first always, no matter if it's throwing anybody off their game or not. Can't lose a shoe.
So here we go, take 2. North Central leads 6-4. Brushes by the net. Gomez, collision between Braceros and Trunzo, and then Lilly ends it.
He is just all around. He is a top-notch player on North Central's side. And the Cardinals, as you can hear, are just ecstatic with that play.
7-4, we'll step aside. 5th set, the end of it, coming up on NCTV 17. Loras has led 1-0, 2 sets to 1, but each time the Cardinals have come back. And not only have they tied it up, they have now taken a 7-4 lead here in the 5th set. And Loras trying to break the momentum, and Gendra does just that.
It's like you wrote the playbook for them. As Thornburg had them in that timeout, that's pretty much all he said was just break it, get the ball back on our side, and then just do what we've always done with it.
Serving is Gomez.
Wow.
Crawford, the finisher.
That had so much power and momentum. Wow, it just went off Claire Anderson's arms. And you saw that shooting away.
Teams will switch sides, and the Cardinals trying to pump up their own crowd. What's at stake? A trip to the conference championship game tomorrow afternoon.
The turn of North Central not making the tournament last year to hosting it and playing it is just astounding.
Loras battles back to within 2. Who will make it to 2 o'clock tomorrow night and face Carthage?
It's anybody's game, as we've said. You set the reset here.
Crucial miss. Peters finds nothing but net, and in volleyball, that's not a good thing.
Not what you want. Basketball, completely different story, but that's a different day.
Crawford serves up 9-6. Gendra keeps the Dewhawks in it.
There's something always, I don't want to call it poetic, but when they get the kill and then they immediately go back for the serve, I don't know why I enjoy it so much.
It's a strange coincidence.
It is, it really is, but it happens so often.
Trunzo, far side Braceros, blocked at the net and out of bounds. The senior draws the Cardinals closer.
It is getting outrageously loud in here, but you just have to feel it and be excited for these Cardinal fans who may have traveled from far and wide or may have just come from their dorm room next door.
Kolov serves. Off the top of the net, Blair Anderson saves it. Now Gendra, off of Lilly. Deep ball, Kolov pounds it back, Harris sends it over. Near side Ross, 10-8 it goes.
I will say it again, as I've said all night, I have no idea how North Central's defense is so competitive and agile. It is unbelievable how quick they are to adapt when a play doesn't go their way. If it's a free ball, whatever it is, they adapt, and that is just unbelievable.
Far side, Braceros taps it with the left hand and unable to recover. It's to within one.
We could not write this game any closer if we wanted to.
Incredible match tonight between the 1 and the 4 seed.
This should be
the championship
game. It should be. By the way it's being played, obviously their records don't match that, but
Middle hit, Curtis pops it up. Cardinals keep it alive. Play continues. Braceros pops it up, Trunzo. Zemba. Yes, sir!
there were so many questionable non-calls that happened in that rally. I watched 2 Cardinal players and 2 Dewhawks look at the ref and go, really? In the middle of the rally? That's how shocked they were that play stoppage didn't happen.
Eleven to 9, the senior Braceros at the service line. Gomez through the hands of Braceros. That might have been out of play if he had let it go.
I would put it in the definitely would have been out of play. As his hands are above the waist, he was near that back line. That's rule of thumb.
You can cut the tension with a butter knife. It's 11 to 10. Home team with the lead, but the crowd is split almost 50-50 inside Myrner Fieldhouse. Hollander serves. Middle hit, Curtis off the side of the hand, and Loras has a chance to tie. Ross equalizes the contest at 11.
My goodness! I can't eat. If you are not in this field house and you are close to this field house, you need to get here now because this is unbelievable. If you just listen to how loud this crowd is.
Hollander, as the Loras crowd rises to their feet. Blocked by Loras, but Cardinal point it is. To 11, Cardinals over the Dewhawks.
Oh my goodness. Even if I wasn't an alum of the college, this game is unbelievable.
Esslinger serves. To Gomez, popped up, Zemba. Trunzo, kept alive. Near side Gomez, take 2 off the net. Nobody touched it. Cardinal point, 13-11.
I don't even know how to analyze that last play.
Timeout, Loras will take 1-2. This place is getting louder. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. fans anticipating what could be a championship berth for North Central. For Loras, the Duhawk faithful hoping for a comeback here in the 5th set of a marathon match. Esslinger serves. Ross brings the Duhawks to within 1.
It wasn't anything special about the play. You didn't even see him get excited. I think he thought he hit it out, but off the block of the fingertips. So take it what you can with that, Duhawk.
Now Lopez at the line, and he's had several errors in this area tonight.
Oh dear.
Does he play it safe or does he go for the throat? Crawford out, and it's a tie game at 13. Loras' point, 13 all, 5th set tied at 2.
I don't think this has ever happened as we get another timeout called. This is the closest game that I have ever seen.
Coach Kyle Lexline takes the timeout. The place goes silent, and so will we. We'll be right back on NCTV 17. Loras 13, Cardinals 13. Lopez with the serve out of the timeout taken by North Central. Lilly, dug out. Ross from the back row. 14-13 Duhawks.
I love that Ross is the one putting this away. As a senior, you watched him claw his way back from this deficit of a 5th set. It is just unbelievable.
Another timeout taken by Coach Kyle Lexline as his team's season is a point away from ending. We'll be back in a minute at NCTV 17. Semifinals of the conference tournament, Lopez. Trunzo, Crawford blocked by Loras, and the Duhawks have won it.
We invite you to return to
Loras stuns the top-seeded North Central Cardinals in 5 sets, a marathon of a match. 15-13, the final in the 5th and decisive match. And the Cardinals are absolutely stunned.
As a Cardinal, you walk into this game hosting the tournament. You've beaten Loras. You don't want to call it a cakewalk because nothing's a cakewalk, but you think you've got it in the bag. And they gave it all. They played great. Their defense was impeccable.
Duhawks came in 5-4 in conference. The Cardinals, the Goliath of the MCVL, 9-0 during the season. Stats, records, they don't matter when it comes time to this end of the year. Cardinals fall in the opening round, and the Duhawks celebrate on the Gregory Arena floor. And the faithful from Dubuque, Iowa, watch on as their Duhawks soar into the championship game tomorrow against Carthage. Unbelievable game.
It honestly was. We couldn't write it up any better if we wanted to. It was just, North Central had a great season, and they have a game to go hang their hats on. They did not give up.
Came back twice, led in the 5th. But it's the Duhawks persistent as they applaud the crowd and the crowd applauds back. That'll do it for us. Thank you so much for tuning in. A couple of MCVL tournament games today. The final one tomorrow at 2 o'clock. Justin Cornwell will have the call right here on NCTV 17. It'll feature the 2-seed Carthage against the 4-seed Loras Duhawks. Join us, won't you? For our entire production staff, I'm Kevin Jackman alongside Ali Coletta saying so long from Gregory Arena on NCTV 17.